The 63rd edition of that great Mid-Valley rivalry, Ed Couch-Elsa and Mercedes, and this one got off to a bang start. Opening kickoff, Brandon Gutierrez took it 92 yards to the house and 7-0 Tigers after only 14 seconds in. And then Mercedes going for it on the ensuing kickoff. They do the onside kick. The Tigers recover, and from there, Renee Presses would connect with Brandon Gutierrez one more time. And in the span of 58 seconds, the Tigers had a 14-0 lead. They were up 22-0 at the half. But from there, it was all Yellow Jackets. Ed Couch-Elsa closed it to 22-19, but could get no closer. Your final score, 22-19. Mercedes held on for the win.
Ed Couch does a tremendous team. They did a great job adjusting at half. Our offense had a few plays there, had a few penalties that held us back, but obviously our defense stepped it up big time. It's been the story all season. We got the #1 defense in the district. They showed it tonight. Oh, I told you, it was a battle. It was a battle tonight, and they were tested on every single level as a football player. The resiliency they showed tonight, I've never been in a game like that. These kids had it, and they showed they could fight through these games and hold on and win these games like this.
Yeah, you have to look at it in the positive way that Roger Adame is looking at it. They held Ed Couch-Elsa to only 19 points, but the offense couldn't get anything done in that second half. What were your thoughts on the game?
Well, my thoughts, Clay, were what is Ed Couch-Elsa going to do, in the second half to get back in the game? Because, I mean, it's like you said, Mercedes set the tempo right off the bat, with the kickoff return and then the pooch kick, the onside kick, and it was 14-0 in 58 seconds. And so the Yellow Jackets basically got punched in the mouth, is how Jimmy Johnson would like to say.
Right.
And but the Jackets never went away, and so I was waiting to see if they were going to unleash their quarterback, Marco Aguinaga, and I felt like in the second half they did that. I think that was part of their adjustment, and then the Jackets were able to get some more first downs. They were able to move the ball more, and they were able to score some points. The defense to raise it up a notch, and the Jackets got 187 yards in the first half after being held to 88. The difference, obviously, was the conversions on special teams. Both teams scored 3 touchdowns, but it came down to the Tigers converting a 2-point conversion, another 2 points, and the Jackets missed an extra point, and it kind of went from there. So those little things will come back to haunt you on top of the 14 points they gave up in the first half.
After that opening 58 seconds, Joe, the Ed Couch-Elsa defense put the clamps on, and put the clamps on hard. And they had some hard hits, and there was some controversy there at the end. Did Ed Couch-Elsa make that catch down towards the end zone?
Well, it sure looked like he caught it to me. I'll just leave it at that. I ran a story on that last night. But let me tell you what they did do. That defense grew up, and people had better be very afraid of what happened, because what Mercedes wanted to do was spread the field. The coach told me before the game, I want to make him defend the entire football field, and he did. He threw the ball left, he threw the ball right, he went deep, he went short, and Ed Couch adjusted. By the second half, they could throw the ball nowhere. So Ed Couch's defense just took a step up. It's a loss, but folks, they got a lot better, and that could get scary down the stretch.
Meanwhile, Donna had a huge game in the same district, coming up big in overtime against PSJA. This was a very low-scoring game as Donna went up 7-0. PSJA scored in the second half to make it 7-7, and then Donna comes up with the only points in overtime. So now you look at 32-5A, and there's Mercedes all alone, but Ed Couch-Elsa and PSJA Southwest tied for second, with Donna and PSJA now tied for the final playoff spot. But now Donna has the tiebreaker in that, and now some big games coming up this weekend. Talk about this, how this district is shaping up, Mike, with these games coming up this week.
Well, now the district Mercedes is to lose now that they're in control. And Donna came up with a huge win. They needed this win. I think if they would have lost this game to the Bears, I think they would have pretty much been done, because they wouldn't have had any tiebreakers with the Bears. So they needed this win to get back into the playoff race at least. And it's something they could build from. There's 3 more games left, and now you got spots 2, 3, and 4 wide open with this win that the Redskins had.
And the Javelinas look like they've got a lock on that final spot to get into the playoffs for the first time ever, Joe.
They may have been a question mark coming into the season. Could they pull it off? They've pulled it off, and I don't think they're going anywhere except for the playoffs, and it's not a fluke. They've done what they needed to do, and they're right there. They're a good football team.
And they've got a huge game coming up this week. Take a look. It's PSJA Southwest at Ed Couch-Elsa in a giant game. game at the Black Hole. Meanwhile, Mercedes is going to have to see what they can do against PSJA's defense. Did Ed Couchelsa show the Bears the blueprint to be able to stop Rini Presses and that Mercedes offense? Will Isaac Vela be back at running back this week? We will find out, but we are coming right back on Sunday Sports Extra. Going to talk a little more football. How about those Weslaco Panthers? Once left for dead, now looking like maybe the top team in that district. We'll talk about that. Plus, another clinch for Bulldog Nation as Mac High gets ready for the playoffs now. But first, they've got a big crosstown rivalry. It's all next.